Today we're doing something slightly different. I'm going to talk to you about this challenge people have with the idea of should they go fast, should they go slow, what's the most important thing to do right now. Good morning, I'm Debs Jenkins from Chaosification, and I help smart people, get the chaos out of their heads and turn it into products and services that their clients will love. And let's now have a look at this challenge, this agitation people have between getting stuff done really fast, getting stuff out there, and taking the time and slowing things down. This idea of tempo, should you go slow or should you go fast, I think is the wrong question. We shouldn't be asking ourselves, should I go slow, should I go fast? We should be saying when to go slow and when to go fast. And there are times, and we're going to talk about those two times right now, because you need them both. You can't always be racing around, you can't always be sprinting marathons, and you can't always be thoughtful and in your head and taking your time about things. Sometimes there are times to go fast. One of my fantastic clients, Liz Bywater, has coined this phrase, slow down to speed up. She works with massive organisations, the FTSE 100 companies, and helps them work out when to go slow and when to go fast. It's a challenge all of us face, whatever level we're in, whatever we're doing. But as smart people who maybe are working alone, perhaps it's an even bigger challenge for us, that we have to work out these, should I be going fast, should I be going slow, what's the correct tempo? You need them both, and let's have a look at how you can get this balance right now. So what's slow anyway? Well, slow is this stuff in our brain. It's the chaos that we have in our brain. It's the input side, where you are listening to people, listening to podcasts, you're reading things, you're watching videos, you're having interesting and deep conversations. It's about introspection, it's about absorbing all of the information and synthesizing it. It's the input that we're all subjected to every day. It's this chaos phase where you need actually some time, and you need to actually relax and enjoy it a little bit and take some time in this slow, methodical, calm way of enjoying the chaos. It's the chance, this chaos is the chance for you to think deeply and to think the things that other people haven't had time to. So it's really, really important to take the time to think and enjoy the chaos. The fast, right, so now the opposite end of the extreme is the time for output. So this is when you execute on the ideas that you have, that you do the sprints, not the marathons, that you test ideas, you get feedback, you ship stuff outside of your brain into the world. And this is your chance to claim your IP, because if you don't get stuff out there, if you don't get stuff out into the real world, well then how do people know about you? So you've got this slow, calm, methodical, inside the chaos mode, and then you've got this fast execution, get it out there into the world mode. And those are the two sides of this balance, because if you don't get out of the chaos thoughtful mode, you never get to take on your responsibility, because creation is your responsibility. So you need to get this balance. Well, how do you know? How do you know whether you should be still in slow input, absorbing, synthesizing, thinking mode, or out there racing around, executing, failing, and enjoying the execution phase? How do you know? How do you know when you should be there? Well, lots of people, me included, are drawn to one end of this scale. They're drawn to the slow, methodical thinking end, or they're drawn to the fast execute, get it out there, OODA cycle type end. And you need to find the right balance, because you can't always be plopped over one end. I would stay in the chaos phase forever. I love absorbing new information. I love being over there thinking, sharing ideas with people, but in a nice little closed world. And I find it a challenge to plop myself over into the creation phase, the actually getting stuff out into the world so that other people can share it. So it's a balance. You need to find the right balance. How do you do it? Well, you use constraints. Our baby in the middle there, you use constraints. Constraints are good for you, and without constraints, you cannot get from chaos to creation, and you cannot take those creations and move them back in to the chaos phase and absorb that information. So you've got to use constraints to get you over this barrier. What are your constraints? Well, I've got 4. I was about to say 3, but there are actually 4. I've got 4 ways to help you. One is you have to decide what tempo you're in. So are you in chaos absorbing thinking phase? Are you in creation, get it out there, move fast, execute phase? And then you have to actually enjoy the phase that you're in. But we'll come to that next. So how do you decide what tempo you're in? Now, remember, my system is the 3 Fs: the focus, future, and finished. So I decide what I'm focusing on today, and I decide that tempo for today. So if my focus for today is concentration, thinking, deep thought, then that's what I do that day. But you have to block out the time to then jump into creation phase. So you need to decide what tempo you're in by day, by week, by month, and by year. Some years are more thoughtful years and some years are more execution type years. Okay, so decide what tempo you're in, and make that decision very, very clear to you, to everybody who you're working with. Then, when you've decided I'm in fast mode, I'm in slow mode, I'm in calm mode, I'm in thinking mode, or I'm in fast mode, execute mode, be fully present in that mode, in that tempo. Enjoy it. Because chaos is a feature of our world and it's your responsibility to create. But you actually have to, you can't be stuck in this limbo middle mode. You have to move from tempo to actually take advantage of that difference. So be fully present in the tempo that you choose. And then, but how do you decide? Use triggers. Okay. You have to, this is a constraint. This is the constraint you have to set yourself. You have to use triggers. So you have to use a trigger to move from one tempo to another and back again. One of the triggers is this thing that I always say, which is an energetic idea. So you're in this thoughtful phase, you're in this chaos, and you come upon an energetic idea, an idea that has so much energy, it can't be constrained, it can't be kept in your brain. And that energetic idea bounces across the brain world barrier in that middle. And so those are the triggers. That is a trigger. When you've got an idea that has so much energy that it can't be held back, then that's your constraint. That's what you need to take forward. Another constraint you could use is to set regular output. So I always deliver on a Monday. I always put an output on a Tuesday. I always spend Wednesdays in thoughtful thinking and absorption mode. You decide, but having that constraint and those triggers, it's Monday, I do this, will really help you. And then make it easy. Make it easy on yourself. Make binary constraints. Don't make complicated, if this, then that, then the other, and then 70 different things. Make it easy. It's a binary constraint. It's Tuesday, I do this. It's Monday, I deliver. So when you use binary constraints, then you have no wiggle room for like, oh, well, I don't feel like doing it today. A binary constraint fixes you into what mode you're in, whether you're in slow tempo or fast tempo, and it tells you what you need to be doing that day. Binary constraints are your best friend. Okay, so in summary, slow isn't better than fast. Fast isn't better than slow. You need both of them, those 2 modes, those 2 tempos, to balance these chaos over here versus creation over here. When you don't have that balance, you get stuck on one side or stuck on the other, and you never have that beautiful process, the asset path, as I call it, that helps you create fantastic products that your clients will love. This, I'll show you the asset path. This is the asset path. Over on the left-hand side, over on the chaos side, that's in your brain, and you need to find energetic ideas that bounce you out of the brain into the world. Okay, that's it for today. So find the balance of brain versus world, of slow versus fast, of input versus output. That's the only way that your creation system will ever work. So I'm Deb Jenkins from Classification, and that's it for today.